All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm headed to the gas station. We are down to just a few miles till empty on the truck, and just wanted to talk a little bit about fuel mileage. I use my truck for a lot of different things. During the week, it's mostly commuting. Do a lot of in-town driving, different things like that. Not necessarily the best situation for a full-size heavy-duty truck, but that's just kind of what I have to use it for. So I'm going to fill it up now, and so I wanted to kind of reset everything and do a fuel mileage video for in-town driving. We'll do maybe one for highway driving, one for towing later on, but this is mostly, most of my driving is going to be in town. So a lot of stop and go, a lot of slow speeds, things like that. So I'm going to just top off up here, going to reset the trip meter, and then after a little while, I'm not sure if we're going to go a full tank. A full tank usually lasts me about 400 plus miles, so that may take a while. But we get to a certain point where we feel like we have enough data, maybe a couple hundred miles, go back, fill up, and then hand calculate it and see what the computer says. So just real quick, I have only been about 1.5 miles since I left, and you can see what the drive summary says. About 8 miles a gallon. Over the course of this tank, I've gone 454 miles. It's got about 71 left. You can see the average speed is a little low there, 29.2 miles. And so average 11.0 miles per gallon. I'll tell you that seems to be accurate. I've never actually hand calculated this, so this will be the first time. So we'll pull up here. We're going to go to Sam's and get some fuel. Always exciting at the diesel pumps here. Everybody fighting for the first few pumps there. It's one of the beauties of having a gas truck. You can just pull right up in here. 226 for regular, 314 for premium here. So we're going to do this the same way both times. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed too is that you got to get the pump just right on this Silverado, because I guess at too much speed, it gets some pressure and it keeps cutting the pump off. Sometimes I have issues with running it all the way up. So we're going to do the same thing on both. We're going to run it on the second slot. We're going to wait for it to click, wait 30 seconds, and then go until it clicks again. So we'll do the same method both times. All right, guys, we should be getting to the, oh, yep, first click. All right, so 30 seconds is up. We're going to try it again. So we're at 30 gallons. Okay, that's pretty quick. All right, guys, we got filled up, and so we will reset everything. I didn't hand calculate this trip, so all right, we're starting over. All right, so we'll check back in after a few hundred miles or so, and we'll come back and do the same procedure, and we'll see what kind of in-town mileage we're getting. So this is going to be kind of what you see here. This is driving around in town, picking up kids from school, getting groceries, going to work, probably slow speeds. So we'll check the average mile per hour on the trip meter. I would imagine it'll be maybe a little higher than 11. That last tank that we had, that included about 200 miles of towing my boat. It only gets about 11 miles a gallon towing the boat, so it may be a little higher. We'll see. So be back soon with some results. All right, guys, so just for reference, here is kind of what I'm calling in-town driving. We are at a stoplight right now. Been about 1.5 miles. Computer says 7.7 miles a gallon. So I'm going to go probably like 2 miles. I'm going to turn this off, and then that's going to be this trip. Very short trip, a lot of stop and go, a lot of idling at a red light. So some of the other ones, I'll be a little bit longer, maybe get up to more speed. This is, 30, 40 miles per hour max. But this is kind of daily driving. So I don't want you to think it's all like, open roads and 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, and I'm going to be getting better mileage than I am. So 7.3, that's what most of these trips are. On my way home, I'll do a little bit better than that. We'll do a shot of what that looks like. That'll usually be around 13, maybe 14, depending on how it goes. The most I've ever gotten coming to work was 17 miles a gallon according to the computer here. That wasn't hand calculated, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, so just coming home, you can see I got an 11-mile trip here. This started in town, but had a little bit of 50 to 55 mile per hour speeds, and so got a little bit better here. So 15.2. To be honest, if you can get 15.2 out of this thing, I think you're doing pretty good. This is about average on my commute to work. So it doesn't really get low until you start doing the stop and go driving and the idling. All right, guys, it is early morning. We are back at Sam's to fill up. It is a couple 100 miles later. And so good news is gas is $2.09. So we're almost done here. Oh, all right, so we're gonna wait 30 seconds, then top off. All right, here's the final top off. All right, guys, we ended up at 26.104. I gotta tell you, I'm digging these $2.09 gas prices. Makes driving one of these a little bit easier. All right, so let's see what we did here. One thing I don't like, I wish you could view your statistics before cranking the truck up. So we went 307 miles. The computer says 12.0, average of 26.6 miles per hour. So we used 26.104 gallons to go 307.2 miles. So let's do the math here. All right, so 307.2 miles divided by 26.10 gallons comes out to 11.77 miles per gallon. So that's about what you can expect driving this gas Trail Boss around. I will say the Trail Boss has some more aggressive tires. So if you were comparing this to a regular LT or something that had more street tires on it, you could probably get a little bit better. These are the BF Goodrich KO3s, so they probably take a little bit more to get moving than your normal street tire would. So this is about the mileage that you can expect in the city with this truck. Got some more videos coming. I'll do one towing and maybe do one on the highway. I don't take many highway trips, but I do a lot of towing, and I've got a big trip coming up. So stay tuned if you want to see that as well.